Hello, this is a TIC News special on the AirAsia tragedy. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta. Investigators hope to find answers in the crash of Flight 8501. It was Tuesday afternoon, December 30th, when search teams first spotted debris, later confirmed as being from the missing jet. Also spotted floating on the surface, lifeless bodies. The Indonesia Channel's Chani Vatvani has more.
The three-day search for AirAsia flight QZ8501 came to a tragic end on Tuesday, with the confirmation of objects and bodies found floating in the Karimata Strait. The location was 160 kilometers southwest of Pangkalanbun in central Kalimantan. The plane disappeared from radar screens early Sunday. Pilots had requested a change of course to avoid bad weather en route to Singapore from Surabaya. It lost contact with air traffic control 42 minutes after taking off. Authorities say a total of 6 bodies were recovered, with one dressed in a flight attendant's uniform. Objects picked up included a life jacket, an emergency exit door, and a blue suitcase. Parts of the airline's interior, including an oxygen tank, were taken to Pangkalanbun.
He gave me his number, and maybe I'll go to
30 ships and 21 aircraft from Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, and the US are involved in the search operation, with Indonesia's National Search and Rescue Agency deploying 21 divers.
Kedalaman air berdasarkan sistem yang ada di kapal Yosudarso dan Tomo, di situ rata-rata antara 25 sampai 32 meter. Artinya evakuasi kita kalau nanti ditemukan pada kedalaman itu, kita masih mampu menggunakan kemampuan penyelam kita untuk bisa mengevakuasi saudara-saudara kita.
The plane's cockpit voice and data recorders, the black boxes, still need to be found before officials can begin to determine the cause of the crash.
The plans for AirAsia now is to ensure that we work with Basarnas and all the regulators to ensure that we bring a speedy conclusion for the families and that we continue supporting the families through this so that they can have a less painful. It will not change anything. It's a horrible, horrible experience, but we will try to do our best. That's our focus right now.
Of the 162 people on the flight, 155 were Indonesians, 3 were South Koreans, and 1 person each was from Singapore, Malaysia, and the UK. The co-pilot was French. Chani Vatvani, the Indonesia Channel.
It had been a painful wait for family and friends of those aboard the AirAsia flight. And when news reports made clear of the grim reality, emotions were uncontrollable. The Indonesia Channel's Robalyn Purba reports.
When images were shown on TV of what appeared to be floating bodies, emotions erupted. Some waiting at the Surabaya airport fainted. All had been hoping for a miracle that didn't come.
Akhirnya anak saya yang kecil itu bilang, "Mama, ada pesawat ke Singapura, bilang kontak Mama." Terus anak saya yang nomor 1 itu tak bilang, "Coba kan kamu cari informasi di PP." Terus akhirnya nyari informasi itu ke anak kelangka ini yang punya pabrik karet itu, tanya, "Van, kamu tahu tak Vina sama Christine naik pesawat apa?" Ya itu teh. Terus anak saya yang nomor 1 sudah bisa apa-apa.
Nganter rombongan satu keluarga.
Jadi tugas ini Bu ya?
Jadi kan suami saya kan ada tour travel, jadi nganter tamu.
Several bodies were spotted along with debris off Kalimantan Island in the Karimata Strait. And search and rescue teams said they saw a much larger object.
Pesawat Hercules TNI AU menemukan objek yang menggambarkan bayangan di dalam laut seperti diduga bentuk pesawat. Pada pukul 13.25 kemudian searching dilakukan untuk
meyakinkan semua temuan-temuan itu dan melihat benda mengapung yang diduga salah satu jasad. Saya pastikan daerah itu dan benda-benda itu adalah bagian dari pesawat yang kita cari.
The bodies first recovered were sent to hospitals in Surabaya for identification. AirAsia management promised to provide compensation to relatives of the victims. Rabalin Purba, the Indonesia Channel.
When this TIC News special continues, insights from the pilot's seat. Just what is done during an in-flight emergency. Captain Shadrach Nababan joins us next. The Indonesia Channel is the country's first 24-hour English TV channel. And it's cool, offering a stylish mix of entertainment and news programs created for viewers around the world. You'll see the latest fashion trends in the world's fourth most populous country, play executive golf with host Lorraine Hahn, plus movies, dramas, and travel, all on the Indonesia Channel for the world to see.
The Indonesia Channel for the world to see.
iPop is your guide for Indonesian music videos and Indonesian artists. Want to see Indonesian artists? Watch iPop playlist.
Passion for Fashion, only on the Indonesia Channel.
This is a TIC News special on the AirAsia tragedy. Experts must now try to piece together just what caused the AirAsia jet to fall into the Java Sea. It won't be easy. Captain Shadrach Nababan is a retired Garuda Indonesia pilot, now executive advisor to the Garuda Pilots Association. So thank you for being here. Captain, let me ask you first. When you first heard that the AirAsia jet dropped off the radar Sunday morning, what was your immediate reaction? What were your thoughts?
I'm very sad to hear that it happens again in our country.
Yeah. Our the safety record has been pretty good in recent years, but when something drops off the radar, just disappears, what does that say to you?
This actually unbelievable, because the normally when the aircraft are facing difficulties, the pilot will fly the aircraft first and then navigate from where to where, and then the third one is to communicate. So there's no communication at all, even by voice and also neither by data.
So that tells you that what? The electrical system completely failed because there was no communication?
It should be something like a catastrophic happen in that.
And this was quite different than the Malaysia Airlines jet in March, where they tracked it flying off course for a long ways, so they could still see, unlike in this case, it just dropped off.
Yeah. I also wonder why the ELT, the emergency locator transmitter, is not working. It's,
the black boxes?
No, not the black boxes. The ELT.
Oh, okay.
The boxes have their own signal again.
So that indicates to you what, again? Failure.
A total failure.
The weather factor. Which may or may not be the cause, but it looks like it could be that. Aren't the aircraft, today's modern aircraft, equipped with systems that enable them to get through this kind of severe weather?
Not to get through the weather, but
alert them.
How to navigate through that kind of weather. So in our airmanship, for weather, a kind of very big cloud with a very intense is the only one 3 word: avoid, avoid, and avoid.
Just stay away from that.
Stay away. The sooner you make a deviation, the better.
So the pilot asking to change course was not unusual?
That's very normal, but the problem is why so close to the cloud? It should be requested earlier.
Because what happens in let's say you hit the huge
cumulonimbus.
Yeah. What happens in that kind of system? The plane, what is the system, the weather system like? Show me with this model what the jet could encounter.
If this is the cumulonimbus, in the outer skin, it updraft, very heavy updraft. In the middle of in the center of the cloud is a very heavy downdraft, and then in the outer skin, other side, updraft again.
So that's severe turbulence.
But in very high speed, so it's very severe.
Okay. So as we know, the plane went down pretty near where the last sighting on radar. Okay, it went down not far from that spot. So it looks like it went straight down.
Yeah.
When you're, as a pilot, in an emergency situation like that, what do you do? Is there anything you can do in the plane? Presumably it lost power. Can you try to get the plane to do a ditching or a landing on the water, possibly?
So after the crash of Air France, the International Civil Aviation Authority already give a new mandatory training for all pilots. They call it upset recovery. So we have to experience in the simulator how to handle if the aircraft is too high speed, too high pitch, or nose down or like this.
So you do have training in those.
We have a training for that.
Okay, and looking in this case, you saw the debris field. It looked like the plane hit the water pretty much intact. It did not break up over the air.
Yeah.
Did the plane make a kind of a ditch? Did it land along the surface of the water?
I think the plane, if the pilot's still alive at that time, they try to make a ditching with a good angle to make the aircraft floating over the water.
Really? Because and then the plane can float for a while.
Yes, like in the Hudson River, we remember.
The Hudson River in New York, right?
Yeah, New York.
That's right. The plane stayed on the water until the passengers could evacuate. So you're saying the plane did not go straight down, because if it went straight down, it would have been totally in the water and you would
yeah.
not see any pieces.
In my opinion, maybe something like this. Not really.
But it broke up because
Yeah.
it wasn't a clean.
But this is because of the pilot still trying to recover.
Okay.
But too late or too low.
Okay, sir. Last question. What do you take away from this? What going forward will pilots learn from this in the future? What will you teach your people in this kind of situation? Or is it teachable at all because it was just incredible?
I think the good things, the lesson learned from this happening is for government to improve their capability to make to do the safety oversight for all the operator and for the aeronautical meteorological service provider to improve the quality of the forecast, the information, the weather information, because the more accurate the information is, the better for the pilot to make a decision. And for our fellow pilots, I think I urge them just make your habit to follow the SOP from time to time, even in the very low workload.
Captain Sharak Nababan, Executive Advisor to the Garuda Pilots Association. Thank you very much for those insights.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, more of this TIC news special on the AirAsia tragedy coming up. A look back at Indonesia aviation safety next.
Hi, I'm Lorraine Hahn, and this is Executive Golf. Good shot.
Executive Golf, only on the Indonesia Channel. The best of Bali, only on the Indonesia Channel.
Exhale, reaching down to triangle pose. And exhale takes you down into flying monkey. It shifts forward and then start to fly. Come follow me on my travels every week on the Indonesia Channel.
Yoga Bliss, only on the Indonesia Channel.
Indonesia opens up my heart. Unforgettable. Love is just the start. Indonesia touches my soul.
The Indonesia Channel for the world to see.
This is a TIC News special on the AirAsia tragedy. Indonesia's air safety record has improved significantly in recent years. It had been more than 2 years since a fatal accident. The Indonesia Channel's Andita Winda looks back.
The year 2014 was marked with several aviation tragedies in the region. In March, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing disappeared less than 1 hour after taking off. Communications were lost and the plane disappeared from air traffic controllers' radar screens. The mystery of this flight carrying 239 people remains unsolved. 4 months later, another Malaysia Airlines flight was involved in what some called an act of war. MH17 was flying from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur when it was apparently shot down by a missile, killing all 298 people on board. The plane crashed near the Ukraine-Russia border, believed to have been the target of pro-Russia separatists. The plane was carrying 12 Indonesians. Here in Indonesia, a Lion Air jet landing in Bali fell short of the runway in April last year, crashing into the ocean. All 108 people aboard survived. The aircraft broke into pieces. The last fatal aviation accident came in May 2012. A Sukhoi superjet carrying 45 people crashed into Mount Salak, a volcano in West Java. The plane was on a demonstration flight from Jakarta, the victims mostly journalists and prospective clients. The final report on this accident said the cause was pilot error. Then this month, the crash of the Indonesia AirAsia jet into the Java Sea. Group CEO Tony Fernandes called it his worst nightmare. Andita Winda, the Indonesia Channel.
From the very beginning, government officials and AirAsia representatives kept the families and public informed as much as they could. The following are statements issued as the situation unfolded.
We don't want to speculate anymore. Right now, of course, the plane has been missing for 12 hours and there's a deep sense of depression here, but we'll stay strong. And our first priority now is to look after the families and do whatever we can in these COVID periods, and also our staff.
Memang menemukan pesawat di lautan yang luas tentu tidak semudah menemukannya di darat. Tapi usaha keras itu selalu kita upayakan sekaligus, apalagi dalam keadaan cuaca buruk seperti ini. Namun pemerintah tidak akan pernah putus asa dan tidak memberikan batas waktu kapan pencarian itu.
Saya juga telah memerintahkan kepada Menteri Perhubungan untuk segera memeriksa kembali semua prosedur dan semua proses penerbangan serta kondisi pesawat udara secara maksimal sebagai langkah preventif dan perbaikan sejalan dengan apa yang disarankan oleh International Civil Aviation Organization.
Banyak hal yang akan kita review dari sisi pengoperasian dan juga dari sisi bisnis pesawat, bisnis transportasi udara sendiri, supaya yang pasti peningkatan dari faktor safety-nya makin lama makin baik.
Insurance is being dealt with and all passengers will be notified of the insurance procedures and we follow Indonesian regulations for the insurance.
Dari unsur TNI AL dan unsur TNI AU hari ini bisa menemukan dan mengevakuasi debris dari pesawat yang saat ini barang itu sudah dibom oleh tim dari AirAsia dan dibawa di Pangkalan Bun. Ada tadi saya sebutkan, ya, kemudian ada tas warna biru, koper warna biru, kemudian ada satu lagi adalah reservoir sidecraft.
Untuk seluruh keluarga penumpang dan awak pesawat, Sekali lagi, saya turut merasakan kehilangan atas musibah ini, dan kita semuanya berdoa agar seluruh keluarga diberikan ketabahan dan kekuatan dalam menghadapi musibah ini.
It will be weeks before any announcement will come regarding just what happened to AirAsia Flight 8501. We leave you now with the complete list of those who were aboard the flight. This has been a TIC News Special. I'm Dalton Tanonaka in Jakarta.